Okay, so on this first one, we have how many terms?
4.
4. So can we use the factor by grouping method? Yes, we can. So there's 2 different ways that we can actually do this. And what I want to do real quick is show you guys both ways. And I'm going to move this down a little bit to give myself some room, okay? So the first way you can do this is actually factor out across the whole polynomial. What can I take out of all of this?
4. 92.
A 4 doesn't go into 18, but what else? A 2, right? I could say a 2 can go out. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to do it both ways. And I can take out a p squared. So if I do that, what's left inside of this is going to be 6p to the third plus 4p squared plus 9p plus 6. All right? Now, the inside of the brackets, I want to do by grouping. Okay? So I could basically do one with this group and one with this group. All right? So I'm going to leave that 2p squared on the outside. So what can I take out of the first group? A 2p squared again. So if I do that, I have a 3p plus 2. Out of the second group, what can I take out?
Number 2?
Out of this part right here. I can take out a 3 from both of those, right? Because you can go further yet. So this will be a 3p plus 2. All right? So notice that they both have a 3p plus 2 on this. So I can rewrite this like this. And what goes into my second parentheses? What's left? Okay, so what goes in this part right here? It's 2p squared plus 3. It's what's left over here in those 2 circles. So my final answer is 2p squared, 3p plus 2, and 2p squared plus 3. And it can be in any order. Okay, that is one way of doing this. I want to do the other way now. Okay, so let's say I take this and I pre-group it like this. Okay, I'm going to do this right here. So what can I take out of the first green parentheses?
4p.
Yep, 4p to the fourth, right? So if I do that, I have a 3p plus 2 left on the inside. What can I take out of the second parentheses?
6p squared.
Mm-hmm. So then I have a 3p plus 2 on the inside of this. Now, they both have 3p plus 2. What's left over? That and that, right? So it'll be 4p to the fourth plus 6p to the second. Now the problem with the red polynomial here is that you can still break that down. What can I take out of that one?
2p squared.
I can take out a 2p squared. And if I do that, I am left with 2p squared plus 3. It's the same answer. Just a different way of going about it.
I like that one better.
Yep, you can do it either way. That's fine with me.
Okay, what'd you get?
So on this second problem, we have 3 terms. Can I use the factoring by grouping? No, because I need 4 terms for that. So what is my greatest common factor that I can pull out of this?
10.
A 10 and what else?
S.
Yep, 10s to the fourth.
Kevin?
So when I do that, I divide each of them by 10s to the fourth. I have 2s to the second minus 5s minus 3. That's all you can do on that one for now. Okay, let's look at number 3. I want to solve number 3 by grouping again. I can make this into two groups, right? So what can I take out of the first group? M. So if I do that, I have M plus N left on the inside. What can I take out of the second group? Not just a 3, but what? Negative 3. All right, so I have M plus N and M minus 3. So number 4, I'm going to use grouping, again, because there's 4 terms. So what can I take out of the first term? An x squared. So I have 5y minus 1. On the second one, I have 5y minus 1 still right here. Now, notice that there's nothing in front of the brackets there, so I can put a 1 there. Okay? There was nothing to factor out, but I could put a 1 in front of the brackets. If I do that, I can write this as 5y minus 1 and x squared plus 1. So that's it for our warm-up today. So we are factoring trinomials by box method. Now, what is a trinomial, first of all?
3 parts.
It's got 3 terms in it, okay? So you will not be able to do the box method with a 4-term polynomial. That you do by grouping. This one you do by box, okay? So the first thing you're going to do when you see these is you're going to actually write a box. In the top left-hand corner, you are going to write the very first term of your polynomial, and that is going to be 2x squared. The bottom right hand, you are going to put the last term, and that's 15. Okay, so what you're going to do is actually take these 2 terms and you're going to multiply them to each other. So 2x squared times 15, and that equals 30x squared. I need to now find all my factors of 30x squared. But I only need them to add up to this right here. I need them to add up to be a positive 13. Okay? So sometimes it's easier just to write them all down first and then see if they add up. So that's what I'm going to do just for example for today. So 30, I could do a 3x and a 10x. And obviously adding those together equals what? 13x. That's the one I want. I could do a 5x and a 6x. Adding those together is 11x. So that's not what I want. Well, these are all positives, though. Okay? So, yeah, you could do 15x and 2x. That would be 17x, right? So, this is the one that I want right here. Now that I found my 2 factors that add up to be 13x, I need to put them in the box here, and it doesn't matter what corner you put them in. So, I'm going to put 3x here and 10x here. If you guys reverse these, that's not a big deal. It still turns out okay. What we are going to do now is find the greatest common factor of each row and column. So look at the top row. What is my greatest common factor?
Top row,
Yep,
1x.
1x. My bottom row, what's my greatest common factor?
5x, or 5.
Just a 5. Yep. Look at my left column. What can I take out of that one?
2x.
A 2x. And then on my right column, I can take out a 3. Okay, so my factors of this trinomial is x plus 5 and 2x plus 3. I got that by finding this right here and putting it here. And this one right here goes right there.
And we have to boil that, or
Okay, so this one happens to be an easier trinomial. And what I want to do is do the same method. There's no number in front of that x, so it does make it easier, but the box method still is an easy way. So this goes x squared and 36. So I need to multiply those two together, and I get 36x squared. And I need those two to add up once again to 13x. So what are some factors of 30x squared?
where'd you get 30x?
36x squared, sorry. 9 and 4, good. So 9x plus 4x does equal 13x, so that's the one we want. Okay, so I'm going to put 9x here, 4x here. What can I factor out of the top row?
X.
An x. How about the second row? How about the right column? It's a 9, right? So now my factors of this one is x plus 4 and x plus 9. Move this over. Okay. All right. What we have been doing so far has been all positive polynomials, but when you throw a negative in there, that puts a little bit of a wrench in it. You have to be careful, okay? So let me show you an example of that with this one. So we have another box. This is going to be x squared here, and then we're going to put in a negative 18. Okay? So this will be negative 18x squared. Negative 18x, 9x, and negative 2. Okay, it's important that you notice that one of them has to be negative because they need to add up to be a 7x, and that works there. So I'm going to use...
Does it have to be negative 2x?
Yeah. Okay, if I did negative 9x, it would be a negative 7x. So we just need to make sure that it's a positive
Is that
7x.
the wrench that gets thrown in?
Yeah. Okay. There's another one I'm going to show you in a minute. But make sure it adds up to be a positive 7x. Okay, so I'm going to put, I'm having trouble with my pens. I'm going to put a 9x here and a negative 2x here. What can I take out of the top row?
X.
How about the bottom row?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay, this one I can take out an x. This one's a 9. So my answer to this is going to be x minus 2 and x plus 9. All right? So just be careful when you see a negative in there, you find your negative factors, okay? My last one, I really want you guys to look at because it's something you're going to have to memorize. Yeah, I know. Notice that this has a negative, but the first one is negative, the second one is positive. On these, both factors, second terms, are what? Yep. Okay? So, let's make our box. X squared, 18. 18x squared. Now, notice that I have to have this turn into a negative 9x. They have to add up to be negative 9x. So, What are my possible factors of 18?
-7,
Okay, so it's going to be, what did you say? Negative 6x and negative 3x. Those add up to be negative 9x, and that's what we need. Okay? So, negative 6x, negative 3x. Now, remember I said both factors, second terms, have to be negative. So I'm going to go ahead and label those right here. This is going to be negative. This is going to be negative. So the first row I could take out as an x. Second row I could take out a 3, but I'm going to make that negative. First column I could take an x. Second column I could take out a 6. So my factors of this is x minus 6 and x minus 3. So just be aware that's something that you're going to have to remember. The other ones work out fine just by manipulating the numbers, but this one is a little bit different. Okay?